River from Canada in the north to really Mexico in the south. The Lakota, who are part of the Oshti-Sakowind nation, have a long history on the plains. The Oshti-Sakowind nation is one of the best nations in the United States today. It's made up of three distinct groups based on the language, culture, and geography. The Lakota and the Dakota and the Nakota, which divide further into smaller bands. The Dakota is made up of largest group in the Osage in the Sakowind Nation. Before 1800, native peoples made the majority of population of plains. Some lived in villages and grew crops. Others were nomadic. They were around often, following the migration pattern of bison. The Lakota were one of the largest nomadic tribes, the head of the family. Men and women traditionally had different responsibilities in Lakota society, but they were equally crucial to survival. Women are the world charge of the family, the overall well-being of the group. They played an important role in making decisions for the good of the tribe. Women owned all the household goods, animals, and tithes. Their job was to set up the tithes and take them down when the group moved to camp. Women cooked and preserved food, collected water and firewood, made pottery and clothing, and raised children. They often provided a majority of the food for the group by gathering wild plants and berries. They were also in charge of skinning and the bison, cutting up the meat after a hunt. Lakota women were admired for their artistic talent. They were very skilled at making clothes, shoes, and teeth from bison, elk, deer, and hide. They make bison robes elaborately decorated with paint, cockring, quills, shells, and eventually brass. These robes took great skill to make and become very popular among European teachers, skilled warrior and trader. Lakota men were highly skilled at handling and riding horses, which helped them earn a reputation as a fierce warrior. Before the 1700s, the Lakota traveled and hunted on foot. Through the trade and breed, they began obtaining horses, and by the late 1700s, the animal had become an important part of Lakota culture and lifestyle. Lakota men could win health, honor, and higher status in the group through brave deeds and achievement in warfare. It was considered a great honor, for example, to be the first warrior to touch an enemy during battle. Capturing was an enemy horse that was also a great achievement. The Lakota were also talented merchants and traders who had built a strong economy in the plains because they were knowledgeable about the land and the migration pattern of bison. Lakota hunters could acquire animal hide and fur much faster and more easily than European traders. They hoped that trade bison to Europeans in exchange for goods such as tools, bed, fabric, and weapons, where bison domed, tatanka or bison, or sunk animal to the Lakota and were crucial to the Lakota traditional way of life. The Lakota used every part of the bison. The bone were used to make tools, weapons, and everyday items, like paintbrush. The horns were used to make cups and spoons and tongs and headdresses for ceremony. The hand and fur were used in pillows, headdresses, and robes, and the hide were used to make ropes, blankets, and leaves. Among many other things, bison were also the Lakota's main source of meat. The Lakota are very skilled at hunting bison before and had horses. One hunting method the Lakota used involved luring a herd of bison over the edge of a cliff, causing the animal to fall to their death. This was dangerous and required great skill, bravery, and teamwork. Today, bison are still very important to the region and the culture of Lakota. Gear made of hand or simple silk used as almost every ritual ceremony. Important ceremonies. Some of the religious ceremonies in the Lakota performed hundreds of years ago are still performed today, though they may have changed over time. One of the most important Chipi was the Sundance. The Sundance is held annually in the late spring or early summer and lasts for 4 days. The Lakota built a hookah, a ritual circle on the soft ground for the ceremony. A ritual circle on the circle. On circle, they place a tree in the middle to symbolize the Great Spirit and the center of the universe. Dancing takes place in the circle from the sun to sunset. As a participants dance, they look at the sun. It's a time of spiritual renewal of Lakota's relation with the land and all the beings. Another important ceremony is Hunkapi, or making of relatives. It was the first way to establish revolution and form alliances to many native nations. Today, ceremonies serve as a way to join for two individuals and their family together for a family to finally adopt a child. The Lakota have been performing this other ceremony for centuries, but at one time such ceremonies were forbidden. While unresistant, from the 1800s, the U.S. body tried to destroy the Lakota culture and region, and forced them to adopt the lifestyle and customs of European settlers. The government outlawed religious ceremony and created boarding schools that native children were focused to attend. Recognizing that bison were crucial to the lifestyle and spiritual practice of the Lakota, the government encouraged the mass killing of animals. White settlers and soldiers killed millions of bison, taking the parts they considered valuable and the bodies to rot and waste. The number of bison in the United States jumped from 30 million to only a few hundred by the end of the 1800s. Lakota leaders signed in many treaties or agreements with the U.S. government that established borders between U.S. territory and Lakota territory. However, because the U.S. government wanted to know about the country's border westward, it repeatedly broke these treaties, allowing white people to settle on the land that belonged to the Lakota. The Lakota were forced on smaller and smaller areas of land called reservations. The government action led to decades of war between the Lakota and the U.S. Army. One of the greatest victories for the Lakota against the U.S. Army during this time was the Battle of Greasy Grass. After the gold in 1875, the U.S. Army ignored the previous treaties and invaded the area. Angered by this betrayal, thousands of Lakota people left their reservation and joined the two Lakota leaders, Sitting Bull and Crazy Horse, in Montana. In June 1876, leaders learned of a coming attack on the camp by U.S. troops. Crazy Horse set off with 3,000 warriors to defend the camp. The U.S. troops were outnumbered and quickly overwhelmed. Within an hour, more than 200 U.S. soldiers were dead. Because of the skilled leadership, as well as strength and dedication of the people, the Lakota achieved many victories in battle. However, continuous warfare, high death tolls, and the loss of crucial resources made it more and more difficult for the Lakota to defend their lands. Lakota leaders recognized that the only way to survive was to settle for peace and accept the terms of surrender, including the moving into a reservation. Despite all this, the Lakota continue to preserve their way of life. They pass down the tradition and belief through the oral history. They hid their children to protect them from being sent to boarding school. They perform religious ceremony in secret. Such effort continued until 1978, when the American Indian Religious Freedom Act was signed into law, and the Lakota were once again practice their religion and custom in the open. The resilience of the Lakota festival and ceremonies to celebrate and the honor of their heritage, competitions, and performance of traditional dance held annually. Lakota organizations have also received one forbidden ceremony for a new generation. In the 1990s, the Braveheart Women's Society helped bring back its native Irisadawampi, or first moon ceremony. This coming of age ceremony for Lakota girls is led by women in the community. Over the course of 4 days, girls learn about their culture and dawn as a woman and take part in traditional activities. The Lakota were also working to ensure younger generations learn their native language. In 2007, Red Cloud Indian School, a Lakota school in South Dakota, partnered with Indiana University program, encouraged the learning and the use of school of the Lakota language in school and community. The Lakota, along with more than 60 other tribes from 19 states, are also helping to increase population of bison in the plains. Together, the tribes form intertribal buffalo cooperative, and their goal is to restore bison population in order to heal the land and the spirit of native people of the plains for future generations. Since the creation of the organization in 1991, they have increased the bison population to more than 20,000. Conclusion: despite war, discrimination, and 200-year campaign to destroy their way of life, the Lakota people and the culture have survived. Today, the Lakota is to continue to protect the ancestral land, increasing bison population and organizing resistance to construction that would harm the environment. They also work to teach younger generation and non-native people about their history, language, and tradition. As teacher, doctor, activist, artist, and politician, Lakota people continue to contribute not only to their own community but to the world.
bag.